harder, stack those sats, don't stack the dollar.
Right then, we're back again. This video I'm going to talk about why I only save in Bitcoin, and also why I can only save in Bitcoin, which is something I've figured out recently. Now it's a bit windy, so hopefully it doesn't come through on the video. Now, first of all, why do I save in Bitcoin? Well, quite obviously, if you've been watching this channel before, you know why I like Bitcoin, because it's a currency that cannot be debased or debauched. The pound, the dollar, the euro, all of those fiat currencies, the more that gets printed out of thin air, the less valuable those currencies are. So saving in those currencies is stupid. It's like trying to save in ice cubes. It's constantly being devalued, debased away. In fact, I saw a chart this morning which showed the value or the purchasing power of the US dollar in the last year alone has gone down 10%, which basically means that if you had $10,000 in your account last year, this year you'd still have $10,000, but the purchasing power, the amount that you could buy with that 10,000, would only get you £9,000 or $9,000 worth of goods compared to what you could buy just last year. It's because with inflation and with money printing, with debt in those currencies, the value, purchasing power goes down every single day. So that's why I don't want to save in fiat currencies. I like Bitcoin because I think it's a better currency to save in. It's completely finite. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. So it can't just be printed out of thin air and debased by a group of people. It's decentralized. So there's no central group of bankers that could just decide, hey, let's just make more Bitcoin out of thin air. Right? That's not how it works. And it's just a better currency in every single way. It's perfectly portable, perfectly divisible, perfectly fungible, and it's just where I choose to hold my savings, my long-term savings. Not even from an asset point of view. You know, like one of these traditional finance asset managers might be like, well, Bitcoin, you know, it's a good asset. I hold a little bit of S&P 500 stocks and shares. I hold a little bit of silver, and I hold a little bit of Bitcoin. Even if you look at it from that perspective, Bitcoin is the best performing asset of all time ever, right? But I don't look at it from that perspective because I'm not like a traditional finance guy. I just think this currency is better than anything else. So I'm going to hold my savings there, which I guess is the same thing. But I'm not looking at it from an asset perspective. Like, I'm not going to sell it just for some profit. I'm not going to transfer that back into fiat after I've made, you know, a 2x. I just believe it's a completely better, separate system altogether. So I want to live and hold my time and my value, my energy in that system. But anyway, you know all that if you've been following. I realized something in the week that I actually can't save in fiat. Now, I've been selling little bits and bobs on eBay recently, and with eBay, I think various like online marketplaces do the same thing, but with eBay, when you sell some stuff, you don't get paid straight out into your bank account. It holds a credit. Oh boy, it is windy. This is coming up on the video, I do apologize. It holds a credit in your account, and basically they'll hold the money for you, and then every, I think it's 3 or 4 months, they'll automatically deposit into your bank account. Now, you can withdraw it at any time, but default setting is that they'll just hold it for you, and it goes into credit, eBay credit. And if you want to buy anything on eBay, if you've got anything in your basket, like me, if there's any kind of books and that kind of stuff that you've got your eye on, I just add them to my basket, and then I don't intend to buy them, but it's just so I remember, oh yeah, I've got my eye on that book. Now with the eBay credit, when you go to check out on eBay, it says, do you want to use PayPal, credit card, or eBay credit? And if you click eBay credit, it takes it off your stuff that you've sold, and it will say amount to pay 0. So it's basically for free. Now I did this in the week. I sold some bits on eBay. I think I got about 60 quid and had £60 worth of eBay credit, and there was some stuff in my basket, and it was like, oh, I want that book. If I buy it, it's not going to cost me anything because I'm just using eBay credit. It's like fake monopoly money. And I did. So I ended up buying like 4 books for 60 quid, and all of that credit has gone. Now that was 60 quid, but psychologically I didn't see it as that. I just saw it as free eBay credit money, you know, and I can get these books for free, even though I could have withdrawn that into my bank at any time. God, it's so windy. I'm just gonna have to hide in this bush. It's so windy. I'm just gonna have to hide down here. I'm gonna hide in this hole. It's actually a little bit less windy here, but there we go. I'm sheltered now. It's too windy. I was almost blown away. Actually, I'm sliding down into the ditch. I'll just hang out here. So yeah, I can't save at all unless it's in Bitcoin. That eBay credit thing was one example of that, but I've also noticed that something happens that my grandma used to say: when you've got money, it burns a hole in your pocket. And it's almost like if you're feeling flush, you feel like you've got a bit of extra cash, you're going to spend it. And I'm definitely one of them. I'm a bit of a compulsive, impulsive, whatever the word is, spender. So I like to not keep that much money in my current account. If I've just been paid, I've noticed that it's best to buy some Bitcoin straight away and just transfer it away, because I'm not going to touch that as much. As soon as it's locked away, I've bought Bitcoin, it's on the hardware wallet, I'm then not gonna go through the whole rigmarole of taking that back out my hardware wallet, putting it back on an exchange, selling it for cash or whatever. I've never done that. And I also think you have to pay tax on that. So the whole thing is a bit of a faff. So psychologically for me, saving in Bitcoin and having that as a long-term savings plan works for me. I'm not going to touch that. Whereas if I've got a bit of extra cash in my current account, I'm more likely to just be like, yeah, go on then. It's easy, especially with like contactless card payments and stuff nowadays. Just like tap, yeah, tap, let's go. eBay credit, yeah, that's not real money. You tap, yeah. So for me, psychologically, it works best to keep just bare minimum in my current account, and any extras I'll get, I just save in Bitcoin. Hold it in Bitcoin. You know, maybe there'll be an emergency at some point where, you know, I might need a new car or something like that. And I guess I'll have to cross that bridge when I get there. If, you know, I have to sell some sats or something like that, which I probably don't want to do at this stage, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, those are psychological reasons. Some people might be able to save, you know, with fiat. Some people might be able to be very disciplined, and if they've got an eBay account, they've got eBay credit, they'll be able to hold it, withdraw it, not spend it. But that's not me. I don't work that way. So for me, it's been good to have, you know, a separate Bitcoin wallet, just psychologically, to say, right, as soon as it's there, I'm not touching that. That is long-term savings. But my point still stands about Bitcoin in general, not just a psychological way of saving. I believe, because of the characteristics of Bitcoin itself versus anything else, it's the best place to hold value and wealth, which is different to my psychological reasons. So I think it's, for me, subjectively, the best place to hold and save psychologically, but also objectively, as a completely different currency, is the best place to hold. So it's just better all round. Just the best savings thing, the best thing in general. Anyway, that's enough waffling from me. It's my thoughts of the day. See you later.
Buy a little lower, try a little harder, stack those sats, don't stack the dollar.